The orbital station Kepler's promise hung in the void like a silver chrysalis, its observation decks offering an unobstructed view of the gas giant below. Maya stood at the reinforcement glass viewport, her cranial tendrils shifting through shades of violet, a telltale sign of anxiety among her species, the Velhari. "You cannot be serious about this human," she said, not turning from the swirling storms of the planet beneath them. Commander Thixiller, a four-armed Kryn with exoskeletal plating that gleamed under the station's bioluminescent panels, made a clicking sound that translated roughly to exasperation. The Galactic Survival Council approved his application. His scores in theoretical knowledge were adequate. Adequate? Maya's tendrils flashed crimson. Thex, we're talking about a 6-week expedition to Terminus 7, a Class IV death world. The survival kit specifications list 47 essential items, 47 items that have been calculated by the finest xenobiologists, atmospheric engineers, and survival specialists across 12 species. She finally turned to face him. And this human listed one item on his manifest. "A knife, yes, I saw the filing." "A knife?" Maya's voice rose half an octave. "Not even a plasma cutter or a molecular blade. A primitive iron-carbon alloy blade." Thixiller's mandibles twitched. "Steel, I believe they call it." "I don't care what they call it, it's suicidal." The docking bay doors hissed open behind them, and both turned to see the subject of their conversation. William Chen stood perhaps 1.8 meters tall, his dark hair tied back in what Maya's cultural database identified as a bun. He wore standard-issue expedition coveralls, but they looked somehow less official on his frame. Over his shoulder, he carried a single pack that appeared concerningly light. "Commander Thixiller, I'm William Chen, but everyone calls me Will." He extended his hand in the human greeting gesture, which Thixiller awkwardly reciprocated with one of his 4 appendages. Maya's tendrils had gone ice-blue skepticism. "Mr. Chen, I'm Maya, xenobiology specialist and your partner for this expedition. I've reviewed your manifest." "Oh, good." William's face arranged itself into what her database indicated was a smile. "Then we can get started right away." "Mr. Chen." "Will, please." "William," Maya corrected firmly. "The survival protocols for Terminus 7 are non-negotiable. The standard kit includes atmospheric processors, emergency shelters, water purification systems, medical nanite dispensers, caloric synthesizers, communication arrays, thermal regulators." "Sounds heavy," William interrupted, still smiling. Thixiller made a choking sound. "Heavy. The equipment mass is distributed via anti-grav sleds. The weight is irrelevant." "Then why make it at all?" William shifted his pack. "Look, I read the mission brief. 6 weeks cataloging extremophile organisms in the equatorial jungle zone. High humidity, aggressive fauna, unpredictable weather patterns. I've got what I need." Maya's tendrils cycled through 3 colors in rapid succession. "You have a knife. And this should cover it." William patted his pack with what appeared to be genuine confidence. Terminus 7's atmosphere hit them like a wet blanket when they exited the landing craft. The air was breathable, barely, with an oxygen content of 18% and humidity pushing 95%. Maya's environmental suit immediately began filtration and temperature regulation. She noticed William wore only a light jacket over his coveralls. "Your thermal regulation?" she asked. "I'll sweat when I'm hot, shiver when I'm cold." He was already surveying the tree line, his hand resting casually on the knife at his belt. It was, Maya noted with growing concern, exactly as primitive as she'd feared. A fixed blade roughly 20 centimeters long with a wooden handle. Their first objective was 15 kilometers northwest, a cavern system where thermal vents created unique ecological conditions. Maya's antigrav sled hummed along beside her, carrying her 47 items in climate-controlled compartments. William simply walked, that insufferably light pack bouncing against his shoulders. By the third kilometer, Maya had deployed her atmospheric processor twice, her hydration system once, and her pathfinding beacon continuously. William had done nothing but walk and occasionally pause to examine plants. "How are you navigating?" she finally asked. He pointed at the sun, currently visible through a break in the canopy. "It's setting in that direction, which makes it west. We're heading northwest, so—" He adjusted their trajectory slightly. "This way." "That's absurdly primitive." "It's accurate within 5 degrees. Good enough." When they stopped for the night, Maya deployed her emergency shelter, a self-inflating, climate-controlled dome with redundant life support systems. William gathered wood. "What are you doing?" Maya watched in fascination as he arranged the wood in a specific pattern. "Making a fire." "I can see that. Why?" "Heat, light, protection from animals, water purification, cooking." He struck his knife against a piece of dark rock he'd picked up, creating sparks that fell into a nest of dry grass. Multi-purpose. Within minutes, flames crackled cheerfully. William filled a metal container from a nearby stream and suspended it over the fire on a simple tripod of green branches. "You're boiling water without a purification system." Maya's tendrils had gone pale yellow. Horror. "Boiling kills the microorganisms. Basic thermodynamics. Also," he gestured at the fire, "the smoke keeps the insects away. You might want to move your dome closer." Maya checked her sensors. He was right. The local arthropod analogs were avoiding the smoke. Her chemical repellent system would have worked too, but it had a limited charge. The fire cost nothing but time. By day 4, Maya had begun taking notes. Observation log, day 4. Subject uses knife to cut rope from plant fibers, fashion carrying containers from large leaves, dig for roots edible. I confirmed. Skin and prepare local fauna similar to earth rabbit. Create fishing hooks from bone, repair damaged clothing. Shave tinder for fire, construct shelter frame. Mark trail markers on trees. My multi-tool has 17 functions. His knife has apparently unlimited applications, limited only by his ingenuity. On day 7, they encountered their first major obstacle. A ravine stretched before them, 40 meters across with a rushing river below. Maya deployed her grappling system, which fired a smart cable across the gap and secured itself with molecular anchors. William was cutting vines. "What are you doing?" "I have a crossing system." "Making a backup." He tested each vine carefully, discarding ones that showed weakness. Then he began braiding them together with swift, practiced movements. "Never trust your life to a single point of failure." "My system has redundant backups." "Then we'll have redundant backups." His vine rope was primitive but undeniably strong. They crossed on Maya's cable, but William anchored his rope on both sides. "For the return journey," he explained. That night a storm rolled in with shocking violence. Maya's dome held against the winds, its anchoring system drilling deep into the soil. She watched in amazement as William's simple A-frame shelter, constructed from branches, leaves, and plant fiber rope, also held firm, shedding water efficiently thanks to its steep angle. When lightning struck a tree nearby, Maya's dome's electrical systems flickered momentarily. William's fire, protected in a small pit with a rock overhang, continued burning. Observation log, day 15. I'm beginning to understand something. My equipment represents the pinnacle of galactic technology, each item engineered to perform a specific function with maximum efficiency. But each item can also fail. Each requires power, maintenance, specific conditions. William's approach is different. His knife is simply a sharp piece of metal. It cannot fail in the way technology fails. It cannot run out of power. It requires no conditions except his knowledge and effort. He isn't surviving despite having one tool. He's surviving because he only needs one tool. Everything else, shelter, fire, water, food, navigation, isn't stored in equipment. It's stored in his mind. Day 23 brought their crisis. Maya's anti-grav sled malfunctioned while crossing a shallow river, dumping half her equipment into the water. The waterproofing failed on several containers. Her water purification system shorted out. Her food synthesizer was ruined. Her emergency shelters control unit was fried. She sat on the riverbank, her tendrils cycling through colors of distress, staring at the wreckage of her 47 items. William sat beside her, his knife in his hand. He was carving something from a piece of wood, a cup, she realized. "I still have 17 functional items," she said quietly. "Then you have 17 more than you need." "How can you say that? We're 3 weeks from extraction." William handed her the wooden cup, now complete. "Fill this from the river." When she hesitated, he sighed and did it himself. He placed it near the fire he'd already built. Boiling water, same as every night. He gestured to several fish on sticks cooking over the flames. Food, same as every night. He pointed at the shelter frame he'd been constructing while she cataloged her losses. Shelter, same as every night. "But, Maya, your technology is incredible. It really is. But you've been so busy managing your equipment that you haven't learned the environment. You haven't noticed that those purple flowers only grow near fresh water, that the birds circle in specific patterns before storms, that certain trees have bark that peels off in waterproof sheets perfect for containers or roofing." He continued carving, creating a second cup. "Your equipment gave you answers, but it didn't teach you to ask questions. That's what this is." He held up his knife. "It's not a tool that gives answers. It's a tool that lets you find them." Maya's tendrils slowly shifted to a contemplative green. "On Velhara, we have a saying, the wise person carries knowledge, not weight. We have something similar. Give a person a fish, feed them for a day. Teach a person to fish, feed them for life." William smiled. "Though I suppose I did both. The fish are almost done." They reached the cave system 2 days later. Maya conducted her research with her remaining functional equipment while William explored, using his knife to carefully extract samples, test rock stability, and mark their path. When they discovered a previously unknown species of bioluminescent fungi, Maya used her genetic analyzer. William simply observed how it grew, where it thrived, what it needed. "Your report will be more detailed," he noted. "Your understanding will be deeper," she replied. Final observation log, day 42. "We returned to the extraction point today. I have 17 functioning items from my original 47. William still has his one knife, though it's been sharpened so many times the blade is noticeably shorter. The Survival Council will receive my full report. I will recommend a revision to the equipment list, not an addition but a subtraction. Perhaps the survival kit should have 46 items, or 30, or 1. Because the truth I've learned on Terminus 7 is this: equipment can fail, but knowledge endures. Technology can break, but understanding persists. You can carry a solution for every problem, or you can carry the ability to create solutions. The humans call it adaptability. They built it into their evolution because their home world gave them no choice. No specialized claws, no armored skin, no environmental adaptations. Just brains, hands, and the stubbornness to survive anyway." William Chen brought a knife and said this should cover it. I thought he was insane. He wasn't wrong. As they boarded the shuttle, the Xiller's voice crackled over the comm. "Maya, your equipment manifest shows significant losses. Are you all right?" Maya glanced at William, who was carefully cleaning his knife before sheathing it. Her tendrils flashed a brilliant gold, contentment and respect. "I'm fine, Commander. Better than fine. I learned that sometimes the best survival kit isn't what you carry." She touched the small wooden cup William had given her, now tied to her belt beside her remaining high-tech tools. "It's what you know." "Profound," the Xiller said skeptically. "Did the humans survive?" William looked up, that insufferable smile on his face. Told you this should cover it. Maya's tendrils cycled through amused purple. Humans, she muttered, but there was no criticism in her voice. Just respect.